All right, so welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. This week, we're going to be looking at that crazy Falcons-Giants game.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone's probably seen the final score, 34-7, Falcons win big. But as always, there's way more to unpack here than just that top-line number.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of people see that score and they think they've got the whole picture, but there's a lot more to it. It was a real, I guess, a tale of two teams going in two very different directions.
A tale of two teams.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Falcons, man, they were flying high on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
It was like everything was clicking, confidence builder. Really feels like an understatement. This wasn't just like a win. This was a statement.
Yeah.
And their biggest lead in the fourth quarter since 2020. That's got to feel good for the fans and the team.
Oh, absolutely. And I think a lot of that positive energy really comes down to Michael Penix Jr. I mean, the guy's debut performance, it wasn't just good, it was historic. He's only the second Falcons quarterback to lead the team to a double-digit win in his first start. I mean, the last time we saw that was Matt Ryan back in 2008.
Wow. Yeah, that's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't Ryan, though, facing like a weaker opponent in his debut? I'm trying not to get too excited, but 18 to 27 passes for 202 yards. That's
good.
That's pretty impressive for a rookie, stepping into that role.
Yeah, and I think what's really impressive is the composure, right? You see that in his completion rate. It's surprisingly high for someone under that kind of pressure. But there was that one interception, and that's the kind of decision-making we're going to have to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a risky throw, for sure. Maybe even a little forced with the Giants' pass rush, but...
Yeah, but can we talk about how that interception was off of a Kyle Pitts fumble?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean...
It wasn't all of Penix Jr., right?
Yeah, but I think it highlights a potential problem, right? Because the fumble itself came from a missed blocking assignment. So, if the Falcons really want to keep this momentum going, they need to solidify that offensive line.
Okay, so speaking of, shining moments, can we talk about the Falcons' defense for a second? 2 pick sixes in one game. I mean, that hasn't happened since 1983.
Right. It was a defensive clinic. They were all over the field.
Yeah.
Jessie Bates III with his 4th interception this season. That's huge. And then Matthew Judon scoring his first ever NFL touchdown.
Yeah.
Talk about a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, for those who might not know, can you just quickly explain what a pick six is?
Oh, yeah. So a pick six is when a defensive player intercepts the ball and runs it back for a touchdown.
Right. Yeah. So huge momentum swing right there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned before that this was a turning point potentially for the Falcons. What specifically makes you say that?
Well, I think it's a few things. It's the combination of Penix Jr.'s potential, right? And then you have the defense really stepping up. And just the overall energy of the team. I mean, they were aggressive. They were decisive. They were playing with a hunger that we haven't seen from them in a while.
Yeah.
It's too early to say for sure. But I think this win could be the spark they needed to make a real run for the playoffs.
Okay, so let's shift gears here and talk about the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
The Giants. A new franchise record.
Yeah.
Sadly, not the kind you want to be celebrating, 10 straight losses. That's got to weigh heavy on the team.
Yeah, it's been a rough season, no doubt about it. Their playoff hopes are gone. And I think this losing streak has a lot of fans asking, are they tanking? To try to get that better draft pick.
Right.
Remember, they came into this game with a 37% chance at that first overall pick.
Right.
So losing out could guarantee it.
Okay, so you say that tanking is like a strategic move?
Oh, it can be?
But wouldn't that demoralize the players even more and hurt their development in the long run?
That's the dilemma, right? It's a gamble. But when you look at their offensive struggles, it's hard to argue that they don't need some major changes.
Yeah.
I mean, Drew Lock, in his 3 starts, he's thrown 3 pick sixes.
Oof.
He's clearly not the answer at quarterback right now.
Yeah, 3 pick sixes in 3 games. That's got to sting a little bit, but is it fair to put all the blame on Rock?
Well, he's definitely shouldering a lot of the burden, but it's not all on him. The offensive line has been a major weakness all season. They're not protecting him.
Yeah.
And that forces those rushed throws, bad decisions, and ultimately those costly interceptions.
So it sounds like you're saying that the Giants' problems are bigger than just the quarterback.
Exactly. They need to address that offensive line. They need to find a consistent quarterback, and they might even need to rebuild that receiving core.
Yeah.
It's a long road ahead, but maybe this losing streak is the push they need to make some changes.
Okay, so to sum it all up, the Falcons, they're soaring, they're riding this wave of momentum, and the Giants, well, they're stuck in this rut with some tough choices ahead of them.
Yeah. But we've seen it before in the NFL. Things can change quickly. A single player, a key injury, a strategic draft pick. It can all completely shift a team's trajectory.
Yeah, and that brings us to our final thought for all of you listening today. We talked about how one player, like a quarterback, can really affect a team's future.
Right.
But what about the long-term consequences of a losing season? Like, is tanking for a high draft pick a necessary evil? Or is it just a short-sighted gamble? That's something for you all to think about as we head into these final weeks of the season.
Yeah, good question.
All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in to another Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.